kids movies and kids TV shows. This has been on my heart to talk about for a very long time. So let's just start from how I grew up. I grew up watching Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, all of that kind of stuff. And the movies I was watching. During this time, I didn't really watch movies on my own unless they were on Disney Channel. So anything outside of that channel was my parents or siblings. So it was a lot of Katherine Heigl. I just remember she was heavily in my childhood, like 27 Dresses, all the rest of her rom-coms, a lot of Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams did a lot of rom-coms, but just like a lot of PG-13, just easy family movies that don't have any explicit content. Agent Cody Banks, Nacho Libre, Toy Stories, all those. So that's what I was watching during that time. A lot of 2006, 2007. And as I got older, I kept watching the same things I watched. I kept watching Disney Channel, and then the shows started to change, and they started to make new shows. After Wizards ended, Hannah Montana ended, Sweet Life on Deck ended, then you got new shows, Good Like Charlie, Shake It Up, Austin and Ally, my personal favorite. And I find it so interesting, because when you talk about, like, oh, my favorite show was Austin and Ally, a lot of times it gets assumed that you weren't there for the earlier shows. Like, if you still talk about the shows that ended, Austin and Ally ended in 2015. If you talk about, like, 2015 shows, they're like, oh, so that was your era. Oh, okay. So, yeah, my era was, like, That's a Raven, Full of Feature, Even Stevens. And I'm just like, I watched that, too. I just kept watching. So it's like, and I think, too, I started watching Disney Channel when I was, like, probably 3. I would say probably 3 years old, because I have all older siblings. My oldest sibling is 6 years older than me. So when, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, I'll do math. So when I was 3, she was 9. So at 9 years old, like, you're done watching Playhouse Disney, Disney Junior, Nick Jr., like, you're watching Disney Channel. Like, you've progressed, like, you've elevated to the next level. So for me, I'm like 4, 5 years old, while most kids are still watching Playhouse Disney or Disney Junior. I'm like, okay, yeah, like, let's watch Sweet Up on Deck. Let's watch these middle school, high school kids do life. Like, I was also always watching, like, I still watch Adora, but I didn't watch much, like, Playhouse, Disney, because I just started watching Disney Channel. That's the first, like, content I watched. So I find that really interesting. It's not really what the video is about, but I wanted to talk about that, because that gets really annoying. Like, no, I was there for both. That's part of my childhood, but I think probably, like, when those shows were out, they were my favorite. When Hannah Montana and Sweet Life was on, those were like, oh yeah, favorite shows, Fanatic and everything. But probably because the reason why I talk about Austin and Ally and those shows, because, like, those are the most recent favorite shows. But anyway, what I think is really weird is that for some reason there's, like, a double standard between liking children's content for shows and, like, children's content in movies. People will rave about Ratatouille's fire, that's my movie. Shrek 2, Don't Play Me, that's the best one. High School Musical, people don't really, I feel like High School Musical is not, like, a universal. In our household it is. In the Sylvester household, we all, I'm going to say worship, we all worship. We do not worship the movie, but we all pay high praise. We pay respect to this film and the director and everyone who contributed to it. It's highly praised in this household. But honestly, just all the Toy Story, The Incredibles, Pixar, Frozen, like, all of the movies that Pixar and Disney, all of these people keep like releasing, it gets like, I guess mostly animated, mostly the animated studios, people watch it, like grown folks like watch it and they enjoy it, and I do too. But I find it so interesting how it's okay to like, or it's common to like kids movies where they're made for a general audience, they're rated G or PG, but it's odd to still watch some kids shows. When I talk about Star vs. the Forces of Evil, that was probably one of my favorite animated shows on Disney Channel. It ended, I think it ended in 2019 or this year. I'm not sure. But that was my show. I didn't even know it aired on Disney Channel until I watched a clip on YouTube because I was watching it on Hulu. So I thought, oh, this is just like an animated show that's good. I didn't even know that it was like technically like a kids show. Or Gravity Falls, Owl House. It's so weird how like when you say you watch that, they're like, oh, you used to watch it when you were a kid. I'm like, no, I still enjoy it. I'll watch it right now, honestly. And just the other day, I was with my sister's friend, and she's my friend too. We were watching TV, and I was like, oh, let me play my favorite show. I want you guys to watch it with me. And I showed her my favorite TV show, which is Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. And she was like, oh, okay, this is cool. At the end of the episode, I said, okay, what did you think? She's like, oh, yeah, it's really good. Is this a show that was your favorite when you were little? And I was like, no, this is my favorite now. This is what I watch. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it consistently, but yeah, it's a good show. I was just like, why is this weird? Like, why is this little awkward moment? Like, what's happening here? Like, Miraculous Ladybug, it follows a girl. She's like 13 or 14. She's in Paris. She's French girl, and her dad owns a bakery. She goes to school, has a normal life, but she has a secret, and she's a superhero. She is Ladybug, the superhero, and she saves Paris. And she has a partner who also goes to her school, and he is Cat Noir. It's French. It's called Chat Noir, but it just means black cat in English. But it's in French, it's Chat Noir. And yeah, they save Paris together. There's evil villains that like rise up every day. So these two 14-year-olds, they kill the game and they save Paris every day. And yeah, I discovered it. Oh yeah, so how I discovered Miraculous Ladybug. When my favorite show previously, Austin and Ally, when that ended in 2015, I was thinking, what will I do with my life? I spent so much energy and time into being in love with this show. I hosted watch parties. I made an excellent board game. It was really good. It had so many pieces. I got to play it with my family and my friends. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. But it ended. So I was like, all right. Oh, I wrote fan fiction. I wrote thousands of like worded stories. I got nominated for a competition on fanfiction.net. I didn't win, but it was huge. Like, I had a pretty good following on this website for writing fan fiction for the show. And when it ended, I was just like, I didn't plan for this. I never thought, what happens after? I just knew I loved the show. So I discovered Miraculous Ladybug after that ended, and now all my energy goes to this show. But that's basically it, guys. I want to crack the code. If you guys can figure it out, help me out. What is the double standard? Why can't we like Miraculous, Gravity Falls, Steven? Why can't we like those shows and it not be weird? So let me know what you guys think.